so much has been said, including by yourself, about your habit of conceding late goals this season. When you saw the board go up and it said 11 minutes, were you kind of fearful that history might be about to repeat itself? And how important is it that you've got over that kind of psychological hurdle, if you like?
If I'm correct, but maybe I'm saying something wrong now, it's been a while before we conceded in extra time. So at this moment of time, when I see the board going up for extra time, that's not my first thought. And when I looked at my players, it was definitely not my first thought, because I think in that spell, we were getting closer and closer to scoring a goal. And that's an unbelievable compliment towards these players, because we've played 5 games in 15 days with mainly the same players. We had to finish the game without the right fullback and started it without the right fullback. By the way, he did really well, Curtis Jones. With our third goalkeeper, with a number 9 that has played there in the past but is usually known for a right winger. And then to show what they showed is a big compliment to the mentality of this team.
Yes.
How big, Arne, is the momentum from that? Like, Chelsea dropped points last night and you go and get a late winner to move 7 clear of them.
Yeah, of course that's very important, because we are, as everyone can understand, focused on qualifying for the Champions League. But I think in the lead up to this game, it was not as much about the league table, it's also about representing Liverpool. And 4 days ago we paid our respect for the enormous tragedy that happened in Hillsborough. But we also use this for the game today, because it's a privilege to represent this club. And today they showed what it means to the players to represent this club, and the fans were, as they've been throughout the whole season, a big support for us. And to beat them then in the first game in their new stadium, after what I just said, the week we had, is an enormous compliment to everybody involved in Liverpool FC, I have to say.
Virgil spoke to TV and said that the season's been below standards this season, which is understandable. But this was kind of a big moment. And do you feel like with Man United to come and Chelsea to come, you've got those kind of opportunities to have big moments over this season?
Yeah, I don't think we've had a lot of big moments yet this season. And when we had these big moments, because we scored earlier in extra time, but then we were able to concede afterwards. So we haven't felt a lot of joy this season yet. So I completely agree with Virgil that this season has not been of our standards. Going out in the quarterfinal of the FA Cup and the Champions League against, from open play, the 2 best teams in the world, with 2 great managers with unlimited resources, I don't think that can happen. Let's put it that way. But in the league, of course, we are far from where we want to be, and but we have to accept that situation, because we've dropped so many points after playing in Europe, and that's why it's also nice now, not after a game in Europe, not to concede in the last minute, but to score after a game in Europe, to score the winner in extra time from a set piece, which you maybe would expect them to score from, but we did.
Well.
On that's Billy, how is he and Freddie Woodman to come into this occasion, and he did really well with the ball, he made one big save.
Yeah. Is there anything that surprises you when it comes to injuries with us this season? So maybe I already envisaged it, is that the way to say it? Because I had 2 goalkeepers on the bench today, which I normally don't have, but that of course has everything to do with the availability of all the other positions. But Freddie did a great job. Georgie had to go to hospital, a big wound. So let's see how he will be. But Freddie deserves a lot of credit, because if you have to come in just after conceding the 1-1, and the fans were ready for it, but he did his job really well, kept his calm in a difficult moment where he was doubting if he should catch the ball, yes or no, and he kept his nerves and worked so hard to have this moment. And usually third goalkeepers don't play a lot, but in a season like ours, I think if you are playing at the moment in the under 8 of Liverpool, you should be ready for making your debut, because it's unbelievable what's happening to us.